Oh fuck. Hey everybody, this is M&M Productions, Monica and Mo, and we are here today making sugar-free, gluten-free crackers. So we have flaxseed, chia, and millet, and I have the hot water ready to boil. It's all boiling. I'm gonna put this in here. Cook it for about 8 minutes. And
Alright, so the water's almost evaporated. Just keep stirring so it doesn't stick to the bottom. After this, we'll mix it with the coconut flour and a little bit of olive oil. Put it in the baking sheet and bake.
so that has coconut flour and olive oil.
I think it's gonna be
That's good.
nice and yeah. Maybe scrape a little bit off the top.
So I'm flattening this out, trying to get it as uniform as possible and cohesive. So, and being the first time I'm making this, I'm gonna be curious to see the thickness. You know, I think the more I do this, the better I'll know the level of thickness that we want for it. So the one thing that attracted me to this recipe was the cost. It's very reasonable to make: millet, flaxseed, chia, a little bit of coconut flour, olive oil, and sea salt. Very basic ingredients that you can get at any health food store, some of the bigger chain stores, and it's very reasonable. This is not costly. Being gluten-free, sugar-free can be very costly. You can buy little boxes of crackers that are $5, $7. This probably cost anywhere from maybe like $4 or $5 for this whole tray. And we have some extra on the side because of we didn't want this to be too thick. So if you look at the quantity that we made for $4 or $5, this is a bargain. So this just goes in the oven for, they said, about 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, so this is a gluten-free, sugar-free bread. There are only 6 ingredients: oat bran, eggs, olive oil, kefir, gluten-free baking powder, and sea salt. It's going to be a gloppy mixture, and I put it in a pre-greased pan. I grease it with olive oil because olive oil for people with candida is a natural antifungal and very healthy overall. So, and then it also gives it, the coconut oil gives the bread a moistness as well, which I like. So this is very, very easy. So see, very gloppy mixture. Just put it all in. And I'm going to put it in the preheated 350-degree oven. Bake it for about 20-30 minutes, just, you know, test to see if it's done. Okay, this is the oat bran bread, which, as you can see, is ready, springs up. So we're going to let it cool off a few minutes before we cut it.
All right, for the flaxseed and quinoa crackers, first soak the flaxseed for about 15 minutes. Once the water is absorbed, add your quinoa, some baking powder, and a little bit of salt. Mix it all up, and also add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Right, now when everything is mixed, you get your baking sheet with the parchment. crackers. We're kind of experimenting now in the kitchen with just some flavoring. Mo back there is adding some garlic powder.
Garlic powder, onion powder. Ooh, how about some aleppo?
And I'm just getting some manchego cheese. Kind of sprinkle it on top. As we wait for our crackers to bake in the oven, making a very simple fresh tomato and garlic sauce for our zucchini pasta. Chop your tomatoes in half. Now we're gonna make our simple fresh tomato, garlic, and onion sauce for our zucchini pasta. Just add some extra virgin olive oil to the pan. I have about 5 cloves of garlic, just roughly chopped. 3-4 minutes on medium heat, and then we'll add our tomatoes. So after about 4 minutes in the pan, we'll add the tomatoes. Stir and let these cook probably like about another 6 minutes. Kind of all come in, stir, mash them up a little bit.
So we just took this out of the oven. This took longer than 10 minutes because of the thickness. And see, as you can see in the middle, so it divided. So we're assuming that it's pretty good cracker consistency. So I'm just gonna cut a few pieces and see. So yeah, so oh, we hear a good cracking sound, so that sounds like crackers. This might need a little more experimentation, but as a first attempt, it looks pretty good. So the biggest culprit for people with candida is sugar. And it's not that people with candida have celiac disease, but we are gluten intolerant. So I know if I eat anything gluten in it, I will blow up. I immediately get really bloated and I feel kind of sick and sluggish, and you know, I'm not super strict. Every now and then I'll have some baguette, like a good quality bread, but I know I'm gonna suffer from it. And so you have to check. The most imperative thing when you have candida or any ailment of any sort, you have to check labels. And if I can't pronounce it, I'm not putting it in my pie hole. And there's certain things like you have to get the gluten-free baking powder, because most baking powder has cornstarch. Cornstarch is not candida friendly because the corn will automatic sugar. So any sugar products are just terrible, terrible, terrible. And now there's all these hidden sugars, maltodextrin, xanthan gum. There's numerous things that, once again, if you can't pronounce it, don't put it in your pie hole. So that is the motto for everybody. So this product is candida friendly. It is called the Inspiralizer. We just made spaghetti out of zucchini. And you could do numerous other vegetables and still enjoy a pasta, but that's vegetarian, that can be vegan if you want, gluten-free and candida-friendly.
Right now I have the zucchini spaghetti. I added a little bit of garlic powder to kind of try to soak up some of the water that it has in it, plus give it a little bit of flavor. So we got a hot pan, some extra virgin olive oil, and then just put the zucchini in. Do that for about 2 minutes. It'll be ready, and then pour the sauce over it, and dinner is ready. So we sauteed the zucchini spaghetti for about 2 minutes in the pan. Added the fresh tomatoes and garlic, a little bit of pepper flakes, and the manchego cheese.
So this is the final results of today's show, our baking. These are clearly the winner. They have a lot of crunch and a lot of flavor and texture, and they kept their form, and they're more crackery. These are the the millet, flax, chia ones. That these happen to be too thick, lost their shape. We made them a little bit thinner here. and they kept their shape, but they needed more flavor, so those turned out a little bit better. But clearly, these did not need anything else. They were just delicious. I made a red pepper dip that is sugar-free, gluten-free. We have our zucchini pasta, and we are ready. And here's our oat bran bread. This is a wonderful sugar-free, gluten-free meal from M&M Productions. Hey everybody, happy